pertaining to, Ye and, R. Kelly and things like that. But, whenever Sharon's on, man, we want to get as much information as we can because she has so much information pertaining to health. So she's official and definitely got some information that's beneficial. So it's a blessing that we have her. Her mind is just as beautiful as her appearance. Every woman can't say that. But Sharon, I'm so glad to have you on. How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I feel even blessed now that you on here, Yeah, that brings both of my dimples out, knowing that you on here. And everybody, and all the fellas is happy too. We happy that Sharon is here. But, let me go ahead and just, now that I done gave you your acknowledgement, it's time for Sharon to bring some enlightenment and, give some clarity and show charity all at the same time. And without any further ado, I'm going to allow Sharon to have the platform and come with what she needs to come with pertaining to Brother Ye and as Rob as well. Y'all be blessed. I'm stepping out the way. Sharon, you got the platform. Do your thing.
I wanted to just update everyone on R. Kelly, first and foremost, and then give some information concerning a lot of false narratives about Ye, so that we have integrity and truth going forward with these two kings, these two icons, these two legends. As most of you know, I work with R. Kelly and have worked with Ye in the past and with his mom. And I have a relationship with both of these men. And I have been on the front lines helping Robert since 2019. We know that he has had a conviction in New York and he's had a conviction in Chicago. What people don't know is that his jail records were illegally accessed and passed to a blogger who then shared that information with federal witnesses, and we believe it influenced the outcome of both the New York trial and the Chicago trial. So if something like that can happen to R. Kelly, it can certainly happen to anyone else who is in custody at the state or federal level. So this is a breach in our judicial system. It is an affront to the legal system in this country. It is a concern, a serious concern of Robert's. It is a serious concern of mine, and I've been working diligently in the front and behind the scenes to get some legal remedies to this situation. So since the conviction in Chicago, I have been working tirelessly behind the scenes, making things happen. I have not been posting a lot of videos. I haven't been as visible or verbal as I've been in the past, because the work that I need to do from this moment going forward, I need to move like Black Ops. I need to move like just private, so that we can get things done quietly, efficiently, with as little interference as possible. So I had reached out to Ye, and his name is legally Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. I had reached out to him some time ago, and let me say this, I'm not going to talk about personal communication with him because I don't breach confidentiality, but when the person I reached out to mentioned to Ye what I needed mentioned, they didn't say my name initially. They said ... the king of R&B. Ye immediately responded, yes. Now, I said that to say he knew exactly who the king of R&B was. He was not confused. He did not hesitate. He didn't say, are we talking about Bobby Brown, Usher, Chris Brown, Tank? There was no confusion in his mind or in the minds of anyone who the king of R&B is. And his immediate response to what was communicated to him was yes. What was communicated is private and personal. Then he was given my number and he called me. So we've been communicating. Ye has had me doing some things for him, but he's had me doing some things concerning Robert as well. And I've been communicating to Robert and Ye, but that has been in process. It is nothing that any of us are going to speak on. If Ye wants to talk about it, that's his decision, no one else's. And I wanted to basically squash things that were being put out there that were not factual about him being a part of the defense team, because that simply is not true. There is communication with Ye and I, and some of that communication does involve Robert. But that is a fluid process. It is ongoing, and there is nothing that will be said as of this moment. And if anything is to be said, Ye will say it. Because I don't speak for him. He doesn't like anyone speaking for him. And he will speak for himself and say what he wants communicated. And Ye is not bashful and he's not shy. And the thing that I love about him most is he will jump in a fire and he will champion a cause regardless of the ramifications to himself. So I love the fact that when asked something, his immediate response was yes. And he's a person of his word. He's a fearless individual. And I am lucky to call him a friend. And Robert is certainly lucky to have him as someone who loves R. Kelly as an artist. So there are things that I'm doing behind the scenes that are not for public consumption, and they're just not something that I'm going to talk about or that anyone else should try to guess about prematurely, because you can actually hurt Robert. People want to get likes and views and clickbait and things like that, but at what cost? If conversation is not said by the individuals, then it's either premature or it's false. And no one has the right to put something out there that has not been authorized to even be spoken on. So I wanted clarity on that, and I wanted to also let people know the situation about Robert's BOP jail records, because when you're in custody, you're having confidential conversations with the people that are on your call log. You have the commissary, you have conversations with your lawyers, and an employee of the BOP who was not authorized accessed those records, shared that with a blogger, or sold it. We're not sure which, but it was investigated by the Department of Justice and the Office of the Inspector General. Wrongdoing was found, and that employee was allowed to retire. But the story didn't end there. The story went on because the records were shared with federal witnesses in the Chicago trial as well as the New York trial. And I believe, lawyers believe, Kelly believes that this sharing of information impacted the outcome of both the New York trial and the Chicago trial. So if this can happen to the king of R&B. It can happen to anyone. If it can happen to someone who is as well known as Robert Kelly, as famous as Robert Kelly, his records can be accessed, they can be used to manipulate the outcome of his trial, then no one is safe within our judicial system. And this is something that should alarm everyone. How many people have been in custody at the state or federal level within the Bureau of Prisons, and they may have potentially had their records accessed. They may have potentially had their information shared and the outcome of their trial affected. So this is something that every citizen in this country should be up in arms about and should be fighting for the Department of Justice to continue aggressively their investigation to the fullest extent of their authority. Because this breach in our judicial process can and will impact future trials as it did the trials of Robert Kelly. So I wanted to make people aware of that and also talk about Ye's involvement and what he's doing. I have been assisting him with the fallout that has been happening. I've been getting him as many resources as I can to help him have a smooth transition into his next moves. And he's asked me for things. I've given him more than what he's asked for. I over-communicate. I never under-communicate. And so I feel he is positioned very well to survive and overcome the brunt of what has happened over the past 2 weeks and to thrive like never before. Because now he's unencumbered. He has better tools with which to move forward. And he knows what not to do and, what to continue doing with his resources and his time and his energy. So I hope that everyone supports our kings and supports these black men in their endeavors, because we all have to stick together. The one thing I will say positively that I've seen from the Jewish community is they lock arms with each other and they stand by each other, and they do not throw each other under the bus, and they don't throw anyone away. We need to learn from that as African Americans, and no matter what has happened, no matter what the media has said about our icons, our legends, like Michael Jackson, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, we stand by them the same way we stood by O.J., the same way we stood by Mike Tyson and others. And we don't allow these legends to be torn down. We don't allow people like Vlad TV to continuously smear our black men. We don't allow TMZ to disproportionately put out negative stories concerning our icons and our legends, but they don't do that with other ethnicities. And we as a people have to demand that. We have to demand and hold them accountable when they do disproportionately bash our black icons and our legends. What they're doing with Kyrie is absolutely ridiculous. And if we don't stand up for this man, if we don't stand up for Ye, if we don't stand up for R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and all the others, then who do we expect to do it? And if they can divide us as a group of people, then how do we then stand united when there's an issue and an attack on someone that we feel is completely unjust? Regardless of what you feel personally about someone, he's ours, they're our icons, they're our legends. And what they have done, the work that they have contributed to society and to the world is far greater than anything that any of them have been accused of. The work that Bill Cosby has done absolutely changed the face of African Americans around the globe. Michael Jackson has made it so that black people were viewed differently as business negotiators, as people sitting at the table fighting for their rights. Michael was the first one to own the catalog of the most iconic group, the Beatles. And that was legendary. So he paved the way for Prince to fight for his rights, for Jay-Z to then own Tidal, for Puff to then do Revolt, because they saw Michael do it. And the same with Cosby. We have the sitcoms like Blackish and some others that we have today that are good because Cosby first showed African Americans as intelligent, as family oriented, as ethical people who could be respected around the globe. And that's far bigger than anything that man has been accused of. So we as people have to stand together the way we see other groups doing it and not allow people to tear down our icons and our legends.